y'all help me. Amen. We'll be done. Amen. And going on home. I got, you know, I got a blizzard on my mind. I ain't talking about the weather. I'm talking about one of them Dairy Queen blizzards. Amen. You hear me back there, Brother Pete? So, amen. The Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter number 7. The Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter number 7. Ooh. All right, are we there? Are we waiting on anybody? The Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter number 7. Reading from the New King James. And it happened the day after that, he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him in a large crowd. And when he came near the gate of the city, behold, a dead man was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a large crowd from the city was with her. When the Lord saw her, he had compassion for her and said to her, do not weep. Verse 14. Then he came and touched the open coffin, and those who carried him stood still. And he said, young man, I say to you, arise. Verse 15. So he who was dead sat up and began to speak, and he presented him to his mother. I want to talk to you this afternoon, on a subject, and impactful experience. An impactful experience. If you're standing, you may be seated in the presence of the Lord. Amen. Let me tell you the difference between an impressed experience and an impacted experience. There is a difference between being impacted and being impressed. I'll start off telling you a little story about what happened to me. One day while sitting at the traffic light, Sister Trina, I was sitting there waiting on the light to turn green, and this black, shiny, smooth, so clean you can see yourself in it, BMW pulled up next to me. Looked like it had just rolled off the assembly line. I looked over there at it, and my mind began to see me in it. When the light turned green and the BMW took off, it left me impressed. I was impressed. A few weeks later, at the same traffic light, Sister Red at the same light, sitting there waiting on the light to turn green, an old big raggedy red pickup truck come floating down the street, and I'm looking in my rearview mirror saying, this guy ain't gonna be able to stop, and hit me from the rear, knocked me into the intersection, dented my back bumper, and dented his front bumper. When I left there, I was impacted. Something had changed. Something had moved me. Something had captured my attention beyond just imagination. I wish I had somebody here. See, when I seen the BMW, I was impressed. But the other car that hit me and knocked me into the intersection and did my car impacted me. See what happens is that impression is something that comes in your mind momentarily. But an impact is something that lasts for a lifetime. And what I'm afraid of, Sister Turk, is oftentimes the reason why our church has become stale and stagnant is because many of the saints or those who confess to be saints never had an impactful experience with Jesus Christ. But they have had an impression encounter. There is a difference in being impressed and impact. Look over at somebody and tell them there is a difference. To be impact or to be impressed means that something has crossed my mind and will take me to another place momentarily. But to be impact means that there is a constant change that has inspired you to encounter someone means to meet them, but to experience someone means to go up with them or go through them or to have a positive or a negative effect on them. See, the first card just gave me something to look at momentarily. But the second card gave me a negative influence on not just the car, on the whole situation. Are y'all still here? I just believe that the church is to, if it's to be what God has called us to be, if we're are headed to where God has told us to go, if we're supposed to be the head and not the tail, if we are the light of the world, if we are to be the city that sits on the hill, if we are to be a powerful testimony, then I believe that we need to have a powerful impact with God. I believe we need to experience